Well, hello again, and welcome to Plan With Me. This is Sai for Unravel It and Unwind. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I thought I would do a bit of an unboxing part two for you and a little review of the supplies that I've been using lately and that kind of thing. So, let's just have some fun today. For those of you who may not remember part one, here we go. These were my Elizabeth Craft Designs dies that I've been using to cut my various pieces with. And the things that I used the most out of this die set were this, which is just a frame with the holes in it, and this tag die, which I've used once so far. I was planning to use it again and again and again, but I'd lost it and I've just found it again. So I'm going to just stick it here on its original backing sheet that it came on for now. The company that makes these is called Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I get mine from craftstash.co.uk. And they've got so many different sets, but in my experience, what I would recommend to you is that you get yourself one of these. It is a punches the sides of the paper in exactly these places. The reason for that is because I found that when I ran my paper through the die cutting machine, it kind of warped it a little bit while it was going through. So it sort of wiggles and wobbles a bit. If you want to keep your paper nice, maybe just get yourself one of these punches. It is a 6-hole adjustable punch. The groups of 3 move, and that is what makes it adjustable. So I've been opting to just punch holes. The other thing that is nice to have if you are punching holes in things, especially if you are facing having them in your binder for a long time, is reinforcements. Now these are hard to see on this actually, they get a bit lost, but they're just punched out little rings of cardstock, and I used self-adhesive cardstock, so when I punch them out it's like making stickers. You don't have to do that. You can use a little bit of glue or a glue stick, whatever. It's not that difficult, but I prefer dry adhesive, so that's why I do it that way. So reinforcements. I was using this. It is a single reinforcement punch. It's not my favorite, I have to say, not my favorite thing at all. It's very hard to line up if you want to make the most use out of your paper. And if you have self-adhesive cardstock, you'll know it's not cheap. So this is kind of where I've been punching them out, as you can see. And I have managed to get some of them quite close together, but it resulted in wastage because when the circles overlap on each other, for example, well, see, that didn't even punch through. I'm so not happy with it. When they overlap each other, you get, obviously one of these circles is not going to be a full circle. You get it? So it's so hard to see where you're punching with this thing that I actually don't particularly want to use it anymore. And the only reason that I rethought what I was going to do about that was because the set of reinforcement dies that I wanted was on back order at the time, and I was kind of impatient to get started. But guess what? They're back in, and here is part 2 of my product unboxing now. Also included in part 1 was this binder and this self-adhesive paper. Now, this didn't go very well through the punch, but I want to see if it works on the reinforcement dies. So we're going to do some experimenting today with that. And here are the reinforcement dies. Now, this set is really great. I mean, you've got a variety of different shapes and things you can use. So that's really fun. The other fun thing about it is that these are all separate strips. So you can cut your paper right down to fit, and you don't have to worry about too much wastage. I love that. You could even stick them all together like that and just run them all through at the same time. It would save so much time. But, you know, that's by the by. This is the ordinary reinforcements. I don't know if I want to use them or another one. But anyway, that's my reinforcement set, and that is 12 different shapes. So that's nice to have a choice. And I also decided while I was online to grab this. Looks a bit funny, but what that actually is you run this through your die cutting machine, you fold this back, and it makes a pocket. So if I wanted to put a pocket, for example, on each of my month dividers so I could keep a birthday list in there, that would be an ideal use for it. However, you fold this down and then that's a layer, and that's going to triple, without putting anything in the pocket, it's going to triple the thickness of the bottom of your folders. And I don't think I can do that yet because my diary is quite full at the moment until I decide what I'm using and what I'm not using. So I'm not going to do that today. I might use fewer pockets than I originally planned, maybe. Either way, these are my two new die sets. And so now I've got 3, and I don't use them a lot, but this one is going to get used to death starting right now. So let's get started. Now, I already took one of these pages out. This is just a pack of 25 sticker sheets, metallic. I did try to punch through one of these sheets and it failed, and I don't remember whether I put it back in. Look at these pretty metallic sheets. Ooh, gorgeous. And there's this. Ooh, why is that stuck? Interesting. It's like stuck down properly. Ugh. And then your last few sheets are this glitter encased stuff. And wow, they are sticking to each other. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to use that at all. That looks really, really thick. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some nice, I'm going to use the blue metallic sticker sheet. And the rest of this back. Everything comes in a little cello bag. I do put them all back when I'm done because I like to keep it nice. Okay. Let's choose which of these lovely dies I'm going to use. Where does that open from? There we go. Wow, that is stuck. Come out. Oh. I'm just going to mess with it off camera because you don't need to see me struggle. Can a girl get a die set out of a bag? Okay. Righty-ho. Now, what are we going to use first? I kind of like the idea of these, so let's just take this one. When you get dies like this, they are usually stuck on a piece of glossy card with some double stick tape, which is fine. These also appear to have a little hole in the top so that you could put them on a book ring and just carry them around. Interesting idea, but I don't think I'll do that. Just because I like to store my dies all flat. So let's see. Now that won't quite fit, but I only need 6, and there's 7 on here. So I'm just going to keep it like that, and I'm going to cut out, eyeballing it. What do I need here? 2 centimeters. Just to be safe, I'm going to cut a 2 centimeter strip like that, just like that. I forgot how nice it was to have a new blade on this thing. Okay, and the star of today's die cutting show is actually my little tiny Sizzix Sidekick that I've had for years and years. And it's great because although, you know, I do need a bigger machine for some of my larger pieces, if I'm taking something with me, that is just so much nicer to carry. So I'm going to pop that onto my surface. And for those of you who are new to die cutting, you need to assemble what they call a sandwich. Now, where are my sandwich plates? Did I leave them out? Don't think I did, you know. Right. I've got a bunch of plates in here. And knitting needles, apparently, in the same container. Right. So the first thing you need is a base plate. And the length of what you're cutting really does determine which base plate you use. So, sorry if you can hear me doing all of this off camera. But my plates seem to have gone walkies. I keep them all in, I'll show you, I keep them all in this little plastic bag here that is exactly the right size for the very, very long base plates, which I have here. So your base plate is a clear plastic one, looks like that. I accidentally cut into it once. You can see that. Nice. Doesn't matter, they come in pairs and you can swap them around if you want. So you need a base plate and you need a top plate. Now the top plate, my top plate looks like this. It's been used so much that it gets all scratched up and it bows a little bit sometimes. It's okay, still works, everything's fine. And then, because this is what you call a wafer thin die, it's just the metal, you need, well, in my particular machine, all machines are going to vary, but you need something called a riser, and it basically is just another piece of plastic. I stuck two Sizzix adapters together so that I could use it with longer things. So I'm going to move the machine for a minute so you can see how I make my sandwich. So the base plate goes down first, then your riser goes on, and then this, your die itself, goes on there, cut side up. Okay, so you're cutting into a piece of paper or card. And that card that you are cutting into, the face of what you're cutting, so in this case, the shiny metal side, goes down onto the blade area. Okay, now don't worry that it's sticking out a little bit there. Remember, there are 7 shapes on this die and I only need 6. So I'm not worried that it's not going to work, okay? And then you take your top plate and you put it on the top. Now that, my friends, is your sandwich. So you hold your sandwich together, get your machine out. And then you feed a bit of your sandwich through the machine. You can kind of see it, right? You can see me. I'm just going to wind it. Hold the top of it to keep it steady if you want. Can you kind of hear the crackling? It's cutting. So, now that that's done, this is a very long die. Well, the die is not long, but the plates are. They're like 12 inches long. So, when you're done, the cut has been made. There it is. And then you put aside all of your cutting stuff and you separate it from the paper. So here are some little reinforcements like that. And that's 6, right? And then throw away my scraps. And you need kind of something to poke with if you're cutting something out that's got holes or any kind of delicate bits in. You just press them out. So that's a quick die cutting lesson for you there. Basically, all it comes down to is pay attention to um, what direction you're cutting in and what side of the paper you're cutting into. If I had cut these backwards, the holes would be slightly raised and they might look really strange. And they look a little bit strange now, but I think you'll find that's just because it's metallic and there's a lot of messing about. Okay, so that right there is 6 what do you call them? You know what I'm talking about. 6 reinforcements. Now I had a paper. I'm so organized today. I had a paper out here because I was planning on making another tracker today. And here we go. So what I'm going to do first, though, let's be tidy. Okay, I'm going to put this die back onto the sheet like so. And then I'm going to put the sheet, well, I will later. I will put the sheet back into its corresponding bag a little bit later. I really don't want to mess with it now. Alright, so the paper I was going to use is missing, so let's just cut another one. Because we're so prepared today. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so we cut. I just like to get the side away because it's got a big space underneath it, and the dot grid is what I need to work with. And 12.2. Sorry, you can't see me measuring, but I'm cutting a 12.2 centimeter width, and then I'm going to use my handy dandy punch to punch the holes in the paper, and then we can do the reinforcements. How fun. This is going to entail messing about with your fingernails, but if you don't want to do it that way, get a pin or something because you need. I'm going to use a palette knife because, well, that works, doesn't it? Palette knife. And I'm just going to try and get the backing off. There it goes. Right, so that's the backing removed off of that one. Yay. And I'm going to put that right there. That's cute. Okay, so I just need to continue doing that. Yay. It's a hot day today because this is being filmed in late June. And I can feel the humidity now. It is really coming out. Cool. The reason I'm doing it this way is because the less you handle a sticker, the better off that sticker will stick. So once I've split the actual sticker from the actual backing, I don't want to touch it. Oh, see, it has slid. This is weird. It took me a minute, but I've realized now that the sticker sheet on this is actually a lot thinner than the backing itself. I do have a purpose for this sheet of paper, by the way, just so you know. I am going to make a quick tracker today once we're done with this admin here. Nerves of steel and patience. That's all you need. Of course, you could just go to an office supply store and buy reinforcements if that's what you're after, but I have to do it this way because something inside me just loves punishment. Okay. And besides, I don't think I can get metallic blue reinforcements that are this shape. So I like to work with my hands, and I like to do things. But I'm sure there are also some very pretty reinforcements that can be bought. I suppose you could also cut them with washi tape, but I don't know how you would do that. Like, unless you know of any washi tape that comes on a back. But that might be cute. Okay, so we just position that last one. And it looks to me like it's a little bit uneven. I don't have my scissors on me right now. Oh, I'll use this. It looks like there's a little bit extra. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? That there's just a little bit extra hanging off the back. It is a good 1.5 millimeters. It really is. Welcome to OCD Theater. So I'm just going to cut that little bit off by eye. Yeah, I believe. Now it's all stuck. Look, I've made a mess. Whoop. Yeah, I made a big mess. Okay, but that's better. Okay, so today I was going to make just a quick TV tracker because I found that I was kind of getting stuck on stuff and forgetting what else I had waiting for me to watch. So let's see. I want it to be, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this until it's gone. I added a little bit of ink onto here to change the color of it slightly so that it matched another of the pages that I'd made, but no, that's not the one I want. That's the tab punch. I want the banner punch. So when you're punching into paper that you want to save, just look through at the hole and just make sure that you're getting a complete shape, but you're leaving as little unused portions as possible. See, like that. So got that. That's a little scrap that can get thrown away, unless of course you like to make collages, in which case save it. I haven't got time, so there. And what's nice about this is that there's just a little bit of ink left on it. It's hard to see that, but there is a slight color change on it. And here we go again, peeling backing layers off of things. This is not fun to watch. So you're not watching. You can't see me. Okay, great. So that'll be my little title one. That will go right there. It's not exactly in the middle, and I don't care. Some of you probably do. Sorry. Okay. And the next step is to take scrap paper and figure out, because I am going to be making a grid. And this is great because I get to show you and share with you my thought process. So here's a scrap piece of paper and here's a pen. Now, there are several different ways I get my TV. So, one of them is the TiVo box. So I'll just write TiVo. This is just to write with, doesn't have to look cute. TiVo, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon. How else do I watch TV? DVDs, YouTube. That is 6 different quote-unquote channels that I watch. maybe I just won't talk about the DVDs, because the DVDs come up in my shopping list anyway, and if I bought something, I'm going to use it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different bits. And if I were to divide this into bits that were 3 wide, 4 wide. Oh, that's 4 wide. That's a lot. Okay. Right. So that 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 5. Yeah, 5. Will that fit down here? Yeah, it kind of will. So that's what I'm kind of going to do. Okay, great. This is not what I intended to make my dots with. Okay, hold on. That was my scribbling pen. Now I'm going to switch to my pigment pen. Where'd you go? Pigment pen. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling for my pigment pen. No, it's gone. That's there it is. Oh, there it is. Found it. Found it. You're not seeing much of me today, are you? You never do. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, my idea with this is that I'm going to lay it out a bit like a TV guide, like that you see on screen when you're watching cable TV. So, that's the first one. And backwards in order as well. 4 and 5. Okay. Righty-ho. Let me just do this line right on. Like I say, I do like to have hand drawn lines. It's just more interesting, I guess. Right, so that is 1, 2. And this is easy for me to do because I am using the dot grid paper. So there we go. Now, I can use whatever colors and whatever I want, and yet here I am using black, I guess, still. Right, TiVo. Yeah, you know what I will, I'll be fun. I'm gonna use some colors. Let's see what we got. I got green, I got red, I got blue, and a black, because the TiVo, it actually has all these colors in its logo. Not that I remember that much about it, but all right, T. I. Green. And the O is black, I think. Oh, I've really used this for something, and it's really discolored it. Okay, so that's my TiVo. And let's say hold on, that's an N. N. Netflix. Fun. TiVo. Netflix. 6. Amazon's little blue thing. And I'll put prime on there. Like that. And D ISNEY plus Disney Plus, and a little YouTube button. YouTube. That is not dry yet. Water to the rescue. There we go. Now we can put my lines back in. The weird thing about drawing these grid lines is it's better if you don't look at it too much. I know it sounds really weird, but yeah, it helps if you don't look. Look where you're going, not where you are. And if you go between the lines like that, if you go kind of slightly up top, see if you can avoid drawing through it. It looks better that way. That looks like you meant to do it. I mean, I meant to do it. Go. And that last little line, which is rather close to the edge. There we go. Excellent. And then I can write T V tracker like that. And just because it's not enough for me just to leave that, I'm going to outline the ribbon with the same kind of space that I left it when I originally avoided drawing over it. Just because it's a hot day. I don't know. Because reasons. Okay. And I am now free to fill this lovely tracker up with the things I want to watch and some way of marking that they have indeed been watched. Let me see. It looks like this is the line. Yep. Ooh, it just works. Okay. That's it. That's the tracker. I can choose to do this anyway because I've got sort of basically 4 lines of dot grid in each of these segments. So, what are you watching on TV? Are you doing much? Now, I've got a section in my diary binder, and it's a whole section, and you saw it because last week we did the reading tracker. So I've got all my little travel notebooks here, and then I've got my tabbed section here, and under that there's a media tab. And there's the reading list I made last week. So that reading list can go over there, and the TV tracker goes right here. And I can take that downstairs with me, and I can keep track of what I'm watching. So that is it for today's functional bit. There you go. I hope you've enjoyed the unboxing of my new dies, and I've shown you one of them in use now, and I'm happy because I can finally use my sticker sheets. So that's exciting. Also, there are a lot of elements on these die sets that I have not used yet, and I think it might be fun. So yeah, that's what's to come. I haven't got nearly as much use out of these dies as I can get. So hopefully I'll add a little die cutting, a little more die cutting than that, to my Plan With Me sessions. So join me next week. I'm sure I'll be well, I might have to set up next month, but we'll do something else as well. This one was a bit long, a bit sketchy, but we got done. We got there, and I will see you all again next week for Plan With Me. Take care, everybody. Bye.